Hey guys, happy Tuesday. It's time for a pocket with Joe. It is Tuesday, February 7th. We saw the games resume from the All-Star break yesterday. We got a nice win with the Islanders and Panthers. We saw such incredible games on the ice, such big upsets yesterday. The only road team to win was the New York Islanders, the home team taking every other single game. It was absolutely crazy out there on the ice. It definitely did not disappoint. Now, it was nuts. The Islanders got a low scoring win, 2-1. We saw the Florida Panthers just blow out the Tampa Bay Lightning, winning that one a 7-1. The New York Rangers got the win in overtime over my Calgary Flames. This is a game that I expected to be a lower scoring one. We flew over that total with both of these teams really opening up offensively in that game. Now, the New Jersey Devils were able to get the win over the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks actually putting up more of a fight than I expected. I was riding there under 2.5 in that game. I also like the New Jersey Devils in that first period, which did cash for us. It didn't cash for us, yesterday with the Vancouver Canucks getting that one goal as well. So that was a letdown. The Dallas Stars got a win in shootout over the Anaheim Ducks. I had to go to shootout with the Ducks. The Ducks just playing incredibly strong in that one. Dallas able to win that first period. And then the Arizona Coyotes beating the Minnesota Wild a 3-2. That was a lower scoring game. Minnesota just not able to get things done versus the Coyotes. So looking at today's slate, we have 6 games on the board today. We've got a light schedule with just 2 on the board tomorrow. We'll see the Vancouver Canucks and the New York Rangers and the Minnesota Wild and the Dallas Stars in action tomorrow. But looking at today's slate, it's a really good one here. We kick it off with the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. We then have the San Jose Sharks and the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Edmonton Oilers and Detroit Red Wings, the Seattle Kraken and the New York Islanders, the Vegas Golden Knights and the Nashville Predators, and then the Anaheim Ducks and the Chicago Blackhawks. So we are going to go over all of these games, you guys. I see you all jumping in here. I appreciate you guys for being here. So just a big shout out to each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys. I see you here each and every day here. You hit a 4-leg parlay. I'm so happy to hear that. I love to hear you guys making money. It's exactly why I'm here, to help you guys make some money and to celebrate you guys when you make money. So Arizona able to do it yesterday. I know a lot of you guys were on them, so big congratulations. If you took them on the puck line at -1.5, you would have been sweating it a little bit, but not very much. I can't believe Arizona pulled off that win over a rested Minnesota Wild team. So congratulations, you guys. Hats off to each and every one of you that rode with them on that money line. That definitely took some guts to hit them there. So let's look at how these teams came back from that All-Star break. We saw the Islanders, like I said, the only team on the road able to get the win in yesterday's games, which is pretty phenomenal out of all 6 teams that was able to happen. I really loved what we saw out of the Florida Panthers, them able to just dominate over the Tampa Bay Lightning. And they were home dogs. You gotta love that. Home dogs were barking yesterday, that is for sure. Now, we have some interesting matchups today, and we've got to look at those home dogs and say, okay, so these teams are returning from the All-Star break. Will we see that trend continue? I could see it happening between the Colorado Avalanche and the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. Pittsburgh's coming in as a small dog in this one. Now, this isn't a divisional matchup with the Colorado Avalanche sitting 4th in the Central and the Pittsburgh Penguins sitting 5th in the Metro here. We have Casey DeSmith confirmed in goal for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And now when we saw them go into that All-Star break, they lost their last 2 games. They had that really bad loss to the Sharks to finish up before the All-Star break, 6-4. They've been scoring a lot of goals here at home. So this is one where I do think they can come out strong versus the Colorado Avalanche. Francois is confirmed in goal for Colorado as well. And I think this is going to be a battle on the ice. I do lean to the over 6.5 in this one. I see this being a 4-3 game here in this matchup. Now, Colorado is getting healthier, so they should come out playing pretty strong. We know Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar-Rantanen all were at the All-Star game together. But I do think we got to give the advantage to the Pittsburgh Penguins here on home ice. We look at their home record this season. They've gone 14-6-4 at home. Colorado's done phenomenal on the road, so nothing against them, going 14-9 on the road. But I do lean with how many goals the Pittsburgh Penguins have been able to score as of late on them. To be able to get the win at -105 is what I'm getting here on my book. I do like it. You could look at the Pittsburgh Penguins team total, but I'm not getting any 2.5s out there. Both of these teams, I'm getting 3.5s for, with some plus money for Colorado, which I found kind of interesting there. Just let me double confirm that, because it does seem a little weird, but maybe I am thinking of another team that I was getting plus money. Yeah, Colorado over 3.5 is coming in at plus 138. I am getting now a 2.5 for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I was getting higher than this before. It was a 3 or a 3.5. It's now -172 for the over 2.5. So I definitely won't be hitting that. But I do think we see 3 goals out of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You could buy that up and get some more value. We're going to talk about this in a minute, Anthony, but I definitely think you're on the right page. Horvat not able to score a goal last night, but he went over on his shots on goal. He had a great night, and I do think he comes out strong versus the Seattle Kraken. So we'll get to this game in a minute. I see people riding with Colorado here on the money line. Again, at the end of the day, you guys, this is a really hard game coming into this one. I'm leaning on the Pittsburgh Penguins, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Colorado Avalanche did win this. I do like the over more, the over 6.5. I do think we see the goals coming in this game for both of these teams. You could look at the over 1.5 in the first period as well. I think that one should come in. Happy Super Bowl week to you too. Yeah, if the public's all over the Avs, it makes me like the Penguins just a little bit more. So we'll see what happens with this game. It's going to be a great game on the ice today. I just have a little bit more confidence in the Pittsburgh Penguins with what we've seen with the goal scoring at home as of late. I do think they're able to get the goals on Francois here tonight and go over their total of 2.5. I'd buy it up to 3 if you want to put it in anything. You could put it in parlays. I will be putting it in a parlay, the Penguins team total, but I do like the Penguins at home here. I think they have the opportunity. Let's look at the next one. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning and the San Jose Sharks. Now, we know Tampa just got schooled by the Florida Panthers last night. I do see this being a bounce back, but we look at this. They're huge favorites coming in here versus the Sharks. The Sharks have struggled in Tampa. They're traveling here on the road. They won their last game. They're sitting 7th in the Pacific. We've got the Tampa Bay Lightning sitting at 3rd in the Atlantic. -250. We know it's unbettable. Tampa Bay Lightning are so solid on home ice, going 24-0-1 on home ice this season. We look at the Sharks, just not playing well on the road at all. They're 10-13-3-1 on the road this season. So how can we find value here? The last time these two teams did play was back in October. It was a high-scoring game with the Tampa Bay Lightning not covering that puck line. It was a 4-3 win for the Lightning. I think the Lightning come in with frustration after being schooled by the Florida Panthers last night. Brian Elliott is expected in goal for them. He's got a 3.07 goals against average. I do think we see the Sharks able to get a couple goals in this one. But you look at the Sharks, they have lost their last 4 games in Tampa. They've also lost their last 6 meetings versus Tampa. And off of rest, the Sharks team is not solid, only winning 1 of their last 8 games, playing on 3 days, not first day's rest, 3 days rest or more. So we're going to see the struggles out of the Sharks as they get momentum here. I think this is a good opportunity to take the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first period. Now, I am a little nervous about the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first period because we saw the Devils at game yesterday. The Devils not able to convert to cover that first period, with that one being tied up going into the second. So I'm a little cautious of this. I'm going to look at a couple ways to take this. Now, the puck line, like I said, we're 14-11 here at home on the puck line, 15-12 on the road on the puck line for the Sharks. The last game was tight. Tampa should win and should cover this puck line, but do I want to put my money there? Because taking -1.5 for the Tampa Bay Lightning is only -102. If I was getting -1 or +120 or something like that, I'd be more inclined to take the Tampa Bay Lightning, take the risk with them covering that puck line. Do I think they do? Absolutely. I just can't get behind the value here. Their team total is juiced too. The over 3.5 is -140. Yes, I think they score 4 goals in this. I think this is a very similar game to the last one. We see the Sharks allowing that 3.75 and 31.1 shots on goal. The Lightning are going to be frustrated after last night, not able to get those goals, only scoring 1 on the Florida Panthers. So in this game, I got to look at that over 6.5. I think it's the best way to go with this. I definitely see a couple goals coming out of the Sharks. And I do see the Tampa Bay Lightning putting up for themselves. So I'm going to ride on the over 6.5, the over 16, 5-1 in the last 22 meetings, and 7-3 in the last 10 meetings in Tampa Bay. So give me the over 6.5 here, you guys. It's going to be quite the game on the ice tonight. I think the Lightning come out just furious in this one. Yeah, you could look at the Lightning in 60. I'm getting them in regulation here in 60, coming in at -145, -146. Still a bit juicy here, especially with how the Sharks played them last time. But I think the Sharks should not put up as much of a fight. There's just so many bad things against the Sharks today, with them in Tampa and also with them on this rest, that I think Tampa should be able to take care of business nicely tonight. So I don't hate the in regulation. I hate the value we're getting there. And I don't hate the puck line, but I just hate the value. So for myself, I have to hit the over 6.5. But I think that's a good one. You're getting even. Okay, so I don't mind even there at all. And Anthony liking Tampa in regulation as well. Okay, let's look at another one here. We have the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Detroit Red Wings. Now, 7:30 Eastern in this one. Edmonton coming in as the favorite here on the road, expected to start Stuart Skinner. Now, the Detroit Red Wings expected to start Husso. They're a home dog, and who doesn't love a home dog? After what we saw last night, really hard for me not to put my money on the Detroit Red Wings, but there's so much talent here for the Edmonton Oilers. But with that same breath, looking at how they played in Detroit, they've gone to 3-12 in their last 15 meetings in Detroit. So while I want to back Detroit here and get that beautiful plus money, I got to look at another way to take it, because I don't know if I trust Detroit enough to throw my money on them here on the money line. Now, when we look at the Edmonton Oilers, they got an easy schedule ahead of them. And this is what scares me for the Oilers, because they're one of those teams where they overlook teams. Will they overlook a team that's sitting 7th in the Atlantic here? They absolutely could. But this road trip that they have is pretty easy. They have the Flyers on a Thursday, the Sens on Saturday, and the Canadians on Sunday. And then they're back home and they face the Red Wings again next Wednesday. So I worry a little bit here that maybe Edmonton could get the win here, and then we could see them headed back home and Detroit taking that win there, because Detroit's got a pretty hard schedule. They have Calgary and the Canucks on deck at home, and then they hit the road and they play the Kraken, the Capitals, Calgary, Edmonton. They play all of these teams again. So they've got a hard schedule. Once they hit the road, they got a hard schedule right now. The home team has won 4 of the last 4 meetings between these two. Oilers have won their llast 4 on the road. They're 7-1 in their last 8 overall. We know they lost to the Blackhawks in that one game. I think the best way to take this is to look at that over 6.5, because I do think the Red Wings put up the goals themselves. And we look at them, they're averaging those 3 goals, 29.6 shots on goal. Edmonton's allowing these goals to come in. We know the defense of the Edmonton Oilers. Really, by trade deadline, they have to make a move for someone strong defensively for this team. This team is heavy on the offensive side of the puck. Defense and goaltending is really letting this team down. So they're averaging that 3.74. I expect the goals out of Edmonton. I expect the goals out of the Red Wings, because the Red Wings also allow 3.27 goals per game. So give me the goals. Give me the over 6.5. Another sneaky way to look at this is the Red Wings team total over 2.5. I don't hate that as well. That's coming in at minus 140 because I do think they score 3 goals here on Skinner and the defense of the Edmonton Oilers. So I'm looking for that one to come into cash as well. And I know all the money, Johnny, you're so right, is coming in here on the Detroit Red Wings. Makes me really want to sprinkle on the Red Wings as a long shot here at that plus 146. It's beautiful plus money. The Red Wings will have to do everything perfectly in this game to get the win. We've got to hope that Edmonton is overlooking the Red Wings and that the Red Wings really just have their number when in Detroit. And it's quite possible, you guys, we've seen these trends where the Red Wings really do own Edmonton in Detroit. So I think it is worth a sprinkle. Would I throw it into a parlay? Would I put a lot of money on it? Absolutely not, because it is the Red Wings playing the Edmonton Oilers. So it should be a good one here. And yeah, the Wings on the puck line, if you can find some value. Let me just double check what we're getting the Wings on that puck line, because lines have moved a little bit. We're getting them plus 1.5 at minus 162. Again, not something I can bet, but if you like that, if you're willing to pay that much juice or you want to throw it into a parlay, it is a nice way to go with that one. Now let's look at the next game on the board at 7:30 Eastern. We also have the Seattle Kraken taking on the New York Islanders. The Islanders able to break that road losing streak last night. Now they're returning back home, and this will be Horvat's first game playing as an Islander in New York. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I loved what I saw out of him last night, and it was a phenomenal game. And what we did see, because Horvat was on the ice, we really did see the other players being able to get more opportunities to get the puck as they really concentrated on focusing on Horvat last night. The Philadelphia Flyers did. So I'm really hoping we see that again tonight. This puck really spread around for the New York Islanders. They're at home. They're coming in at minus 115, minus 104 here for the Seattle Kraken with a total of 5.5. Now, I know these totals are absolutely terrifying at 5.5 to take under, but we've seen the elite defense of the New York Islanders be able to control that game last night. And I really do see this one being another game where they can control that total at 5.5. I don't love it though, you guys. I would be buying the hook, buying it up to 6, paying some more juice here, or staying off it. I just don't trust those 5.5. So you guys know that I've been burnt too much. Now the Seattle Kraken, can I trust them here? It's not that I can't trust the Seattle Kraken. Martin Jones expected to start for them. He's got a 2.82 goals against average, but we got Sorokin fresh from the All-Star break. He didn't play last night, coming out here for the Islanders. I am expecting a huge night out of him. He has a 2.38 goals against average. Now, when we look at the Islanders versus the Pacific, they've won each of their last 6 home games against Pacific opponents. I do expect them to come out phenomenally strong here versus the Seattle Kraken. Now, when we look at the Kraken schedule, this is game 1 of a 5-game road trip. You look at the schedule. This is a hard schedule. So they have the Islanders tonight. They have the Devils and the Rangers. And then the Flyers, not so hard. And then the Jets on deck on this road trip. So I do expect the Kraken to lose some of these games on the road. They've been so phenomenally strong on the road. Gone 7-1 in their last 8 road games. I think with them coming back from the break and the Islanders fresh off that back-to-back, I don't think it's going to work against the Islanders in this one. I think it's going to benefit the Islanders. So give me the Islanders here at home. This will be my second night in a row riding the Islanders with the inconsistencies before the break. Yes, it terrifies me, but I think the Islanders will be able to pull off this win here tonight. So give me the Islanders, you guys. Let me know if you're hitting the Islanders too. You love the Islanders here at home. Joe's riding with the Kraken. Joe always riding with the Kraken there. And yes, if you can get the under 6, exactly where I would take this one, you guys. Lots of people riding with the Kraken. Release the Kraken. You guys know that I really like the Kraken. Sitting first in the Pacific right now. I need the Kraken to slow down a bit because Calgary's sitting, 5th in the Pacific? We are absolutely struggling. Can the Kraken give us a little bit of a break? They won't. Anthony liking the Isles here with me as well. It should be a great game. This Islanders team, I think they're just motivated right now. That spark is lit, you guys. So it's going to be a good one. Strong trends to the under. Like I said, I can't bite on that under at 5.5. If you can get a 6, get the 6. I think we might see movement on this line. It's only it's 350 right now on the East Coast. This game doesn't kick off till 7:30. So if you do like the under, I would wait until before game. Hopefully we see a little bit of movement. I'm not sure if we will, but we're definitely not going to see this move down to a 5. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Nashville Predators kick off at 8 o'clock Eastern. And this is an interesting one. The Nashville Predators coming in here as the favorite at home at -114, -105 for the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Logan Thompson is expected in goal for Vegas, and Saros here expected for the Nashville Predators. Vegas has owned the Nashville Predators. They've gone 5-1 in the last 6 meetings. I am scared to take the home team with the Nashville Predators. If trends repeat itself like we saw last night, the home teams are going to have the advantage tonight coming in off the rest. Now, what I look at, we saw Logan Thompson at the All-Star game playing for the Pacific. Lots of goals were let in. This team's sitting 3rd here in the Pacific, the Nashville Predators sitting 5th. The All-Star game isn't really a reflection, but we did see a lot of travel out of him now sitting here in Nashville. We saw Chandler Stevenson as well. There's a couple of players in there, but we did have a couple Nashville players too. I like what we saw off of Nashville going into the break. They got those nice big wins over the Winnipeg Jets and the New Jersey Devils, if my memory is correct. Now, we've seen strong trends between these two to the road team, which is surprising. I love when we see these trends for the road team, especially when Vegas is coming in as a dog. I do like what we've seen in Nashville. If the trends of last night repeat themselves, I'm going to be on the wrong side of this because I got to side with the Vegas Golden Knights in this one. I just like their ability and what they've been able to do versus the Nashville Predators. The underdog also has gone 6-1 in the last 7 meetings. This team doesn't have really a look ahead. They've got the Wild on deck on Thursday, and we look at the Predators. They're not playing again till Saturday. They've got the Flyers on deck Saturday. So there's no scheduling issues that I'm like, okay, this team is going to look ahead to another team, which I was really hoping as soon as I pulled up the schedule looking at this matchup, because this really is a pick 'em here for these two teams where I can say, okay, this team's in a bad scheduling spot. I can't find it here in this one. Last time these teams played, high scoring one back in December with Vegas getting a 5-4 win in that one. So I'm going to lean to the under actually in this. While these two teams lean to that over, what I'm looking at is Logan Thompson and Saros are really strong goaltenders, both holding their goals against average under 3, with Logan Thompson coming in at 2.69 and Saros coming in at 2.74. We look at the defenses of both of these teams. While the Nashville Predators are allowing way too many shots on goal at 34.5, I'm expecting this last little bit, we've got 30-ish games for each team here to really lock down defensively. They're only allowing that 2.92 goals against defensively, but 34.5 shots. I'm looking for this team to really start limiting opponents a lot more, playing a stronger defensive game. Now, we know the Vegas Golden Knights are only allowing 2.88 and 30.6 shots on goal. So I'm looking for a defensive one here coming in off the break. So I'm going to take the under 6. You guys know I hate betting unders. It's not where I like to go, but I do think this one stays under that number. So give me the under 6, and I lean on Vegas to get the win. Now, Chandler Stevenson, I talked about him. It's really interesting because we look at him versus the Predators. He scored in 4 of the Golden Knights' last 5 games against the Predators. So it's a long shot here, but it's a long shot that pays me enough money that I'm willing to put a sprinkle on it to take Chandler Stevenson for that anytime goal, even though I think this one breaks those trends and stays under that total. total, and we got a lower scoring one. I do think taking him at plus 350 for that anytime goal, little sprinkle. And I'm talking little sprinkle, you guys. So don't go heavy on that. But he did have a phenomenal time at the All-Star game. He really came out, did phenomenal there. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how he hits the ice in this game. The next game and the last game on the board, we have the Anaheim Ducks taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, this is another one of which team is crappier. Well, we got the Chicago Blackhawks coming in here, and they're on home ice. They're at minus 122. I'm going to take them over a Ducks team that is on the back-to-back. The Ducks have also really struggled in Chicago, going 0-5 in their last 5 games in Chicago. I can't back the Anaheim Ducks here. Their road record, are you ready for this? This sounds disgusting, is 7-16, 2-3 on the season, but they have done okay on that puck line, going 13-15 on the road. There's no value here taking them on the puck line unless you're throwing it into a parlay. Now the Chicago Blackhawks, they won the last time 3-2. They lost their last game. They're allowing these goals to come in. Both defenses, not so great. Both offenses, not so great is an understatement. I was trying to find a better way to explain these teams. They're not good teams. This game is, if you don't need to bet this game, I'm not betting it, you guys. I think the Blackhawks get the win at minus 122. Do I want to put money on the Blackhawks? No. The Blackhawks are 2-6 in their last 8 games playing on 3 days or more rest. The Ducks are 0-5 in their last 5 in Chicago. They're also 0-8 in their last 8 meetings versus Chicago. They've got a game under their belt at least, but a back-to-back is not good for the Ducks, especially with them going to overtime last night, going 1-4 in their last 5 following an overtime game the previous day. There is nothing good about the Ducks and the Blackhawks game tonight, unless you look at Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane of the Chicago Blackhawks for an anytime goal is coming in at plus 198. He scored a goal in 4 of the Blackhawks' last 5 games against the Ducks. So you can look at Patrick Kane here for that anytime goal. We know he has been lighting up the net for the Chicago Blackhawks when the goals come in plus 98 with any sprinkle here if you have to bet this game. And that is a big if, you guys, because between basketball, college and pro, and the other 5 games here on the ice, we have plenty to bet. Remember, Super Bowl is right around the corner if you guys forgot. So make sure you're saving some of your bankroll for Super Bowl. Get those props in now for Super Bowl too, because we are already seeing line movements. And FP, the auto caption, I cannot put on during the show. You have to go back and watch the recorded show. It takes the system about 30 minutes to transcribe what I've said, and then those auto captions will be on. And I appreciate you for asking for this. I made sure it is turned on every show from here on out. You're just going to have to wait for YouTube to do the thing with the captioning, and you can turn it on and watch the show after it has been recorded. So you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. And the Ducks almost got it done yesterday. Yeah, they almost got it done. And they played a hard game. But now coming into this one, I don't know if I can trust them on this back-to-back. So you guys, that's where I'm going with all of these games. Let's build a parlay. It's a favorite part of the show for all of you guys. I know that. So let's build the parlay. Let's get to my best bets. And let's make some freaking money on the ice tonight. I'm so excited that hockey is back. So recap time here, you guys, hitting right at that 29-minute mark. We're going to the Colorado Avalanche, Pittsburgh Penguins. Again, I lean on the Penguins on home ice. I love the trend that we saw last night of these teams coming in off the All-Star break and the Penguins here at home. It tipped me over for the Penguins in this one. Now, Colorado is strong off of that rest, so I don't love this one, okay? But if you have to bet aside, I lean on the Penguins. I love the over 6.5, though. And that's what I'm going to throw into the parlay. The Abs and the Penguins over 6.5 in this game. I think that one comes and cashes nicely. I also like the team total of the Penguins over 2.5, except you're paying way too much juice. So again, if that's something you like, throw that into a parlay there. The matchup between the San Jose Sharks and the Tampa Bay Lightning, give me the Lightning to get things back. After a disappointing loss yesterday to the Florida Panthers, I think they come in nicely. Now, what I'm going to do for the parlay is to take Tampa in regulation in this one at minus 140 for the parlay. If you want to throw them on the money line in the parlay, I wouldn't blame you because your odds really, it's still going to be great odds because this is a long shot parlay. I would take Tampa in regulation straight up as well. I think Tampa in that first period, they probably pull off the first period puck line cover here against the San Jose Sharks. I think they come in angry in this one. So I don't hate in regulation. I don't hate the team total over 3.5. Actually, you know what? I'm going to throw the team total over 3.5 for the parlay. I think that is a stronger way to go. I really do see 4 goals coming out of the Tampa Bay Lightning in this one. So I like that better than Tampa in regulation. Tampa in regulation minus 146. I like the over 6.5 in this game as well. And then the Edmonton Oilers and the Detroit Red Wings for the parlay. I'm throwing Detroit. Their team total over 2.5. I do see them coming out getting these goals on the Edmonton Oilers tonight. I do think this full game goes over that total as well. The Seattle Kraken and the New York Islanders. I'm going to ride the Islanders here at home. I really hope they don't disappoint me. We know the inconsistencies of this team. I was so harsh on them before the All-Star break. I really do think there is a spark ignited in this team. Okay, the only issue is this is Bo Horvat's first game in New York. They have the Vancouver Canucks on deck, but it's not till Thursday. Today is Tuesday. I don't think this is a look ahead at all, but he will be going against his old team, and that will be an interesting one there for sure. Now, the next game here on the board, we have the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Nashville Predators. I love Vegas here. I really do. I think Vegas can get it done. This is going to be an absolute battle. I really hope this isn't a game where the Nashville Predators go with the trends that we saw last night with that home team coming in off the break. But I think Vegas here on the money line is a nice slight underdog here to get the win. Vegas has just owned the Nashville Predators. So I think they can do it in this one. Chandler Stevenson, I think, is a great person for a very long shot at plus 350 for that anytime goal. And I know these two teams trend to the over. I'm going to take the under in this one. So for the parlay, give me Vegas here. You can grab Vegas plus 1.5 to throw into the parlay. Let me just see what that is. If it's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. That's plus 250. But if you're looking for your better odds to win this parlay, you could throw it. But I'm just going to throw Vegas on the money line into the parlay. It's one of my favorite bets of the day is Vegas. And then for that last game, just give me the Blackhawks here at minus 122 into the parlay. Like I said, the Blackhawks game isn't one that I love, but I do think they are able to get it done. So to recap that parlay, it's the Abs and the Penguins over 6.5. The Tampa Bay Lightning team's total over 3.5. The Detroit Red Wings team total over 2.5. Vegas on the money line, and the Chicago Blackhawks on the money line. For my favorite bets of the day, I'm going to go with the Penguins here at minus 105. And I'm going to go with Vegas here on the money line too at minus 105. And I'm going to look at Tampa's team total. And I do think that team total goes over 3.5 in this matchup at minus 140. So you guys, those are my 5 favorite bets, 3 favorite bets: Penguins, Vegas, and Tampa over 3.5. The other 2 on the money line. Guys, it's always a great Tuesday when I get to sit here and talk hockey with you guys. I will be back here tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern. And yeah, drop below what you're liking, who you are betting. Yeah, if you can get that total of Las Vegas over 5.5, that would be, I agree with you. I'm scared. At 6, we might push. I think it's a 5 game or a 5-goal game. So you guys, I will see you. You can catch me on Twitter for the rest of the day. Don't forget to check out my show coming out later today with Sam, where we go over these games. You can get Sam's opinion on the games too. We don't always agree, so it's always nice to get another person's perspective on these games. But this is what I'm liking. I wish you guys all the best. Drop your parlays below. Drop everything you're betting below. Let's celebrate each other's wins. I want to thank you guys also for being so phenomenally great to each other in the chat. I think I have one of the best communities here in the sports betting world on YouTube because you guys are so nice to each other. And I really love what I'm seeing out of you guys. So all the best tonight. Crush the books. I'll be back tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern. Let's make some freaking money. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're going to have some fun tonight. All the best, you guys.